The accounting company Bench has closed down, and in this video, I'm going to explain a couple things. We're going to go over what was Bench, do you need Bench, or what are the alternatives you could do, why accounting is important, what some big reasons why you should actually do accounting, and at the end, what you should do now. So to start off, Bench was this website where you could sign up and you log into their platform, you connect your bank accounts, and you get assigned an accountant who does your accounting. It was limited to generally cash basis. They didn't do anything super complicated, but you had an accountant, and for a small fixed fee, they were doing your accounting every single month. In concept, it was nice, and I looked at it and I said, how would I do something like that? And I couldn't make it work because the numbers didn't make sense. And now, seeing as they have closed down right before the end of the year, right before year-end cutoffs and year-end closes, especially after I saw it was kind of nasty that they were pushing people to prepay for the next year and do it all at the end of the year, and then they just shut down and people lose their money and the service. It's kind of nasty, but they had a lot of clients, and it's crazy that they shut down like that, but I understand because the model didn't really make sense to me because they were doing for $300 a month doing full accounting with no limits on types of accounts, and it's really hard to scale fixed fee accounting services without having a specific niche or by doing it super low ticket. Obviously, if you charge a lot of money and you have really good accountants and they're all paid well, you can do it, but these were all outsourced accountants and the people were coming in and out. I mean, they're not outsourced, they were working for the company, but I can see why at that price point and with the technology they had and everything, why it probably didn't work. Now, I'm interested to see what's going to happen with, they were acquired 3 days after shutting down by, it says, employer.com, so we'll see if they actually use it or if they're just going to take the data and the platform and repurpose it into something else. It says they opened up in 2012, and then they expanded service to help over 35,000 businesses in bookkeeping, tax preparation. I found a lot of clients overpay and get really bad tax services from these kinds of companies, but generally they're coming to me because they're more complicated clients, and they should have never worked with a generic solution tax provider. It's really tough to get tax support from this kind of person, but this kind of company, because it's really not specialized, and it's hard to scale like that. That's a problem I have. So it looks like Bench shut down. I don't know if they're going to reopen after being acquired. I can see why it didn't work out. Now I want to jump into, do you need Bench or the alternative? So do you need to have a dedicated bookkeeper? So there's like a couple of different ways to do it. One, you can hire an in-house support person to do your accounting for you. Two, you can do it yourself. Three, you can hire a real formal CPA or accounting firm to do it. Or four, you can hire a software-based, AI-based kind of solution. That's kind of like you doing it yourself with tools. All have pros and cons, and all are appropriate for different levels of business. If you're doing $50,000 a year in consulting, you can do it yourself at the end of the year. I just did a video, maybe the team can link that, 2 weeks ago, about how to do your own year-end accounting. And for consulting businesses, small businesses, you can do your accounting yourself, and it's probably a good exercise to figure out a little bit of accounting as a business owner. It's a super useful skill to have. Now, if you have doing $20 million a month in an e-commerce business and you're tracking inventory, you probably need 3 or 4 in-house accountants to track different forms of inventory, receivables, payables, and your sales taxes. You probably have a huge operation of internal accountants. Now, if you have a medium-sized business that you do $2 million a year and you're doing some kind of consulting and you want to just work with one CPA and you want to reduce your taxes because you are paying taxes in some examples, that's when you could work with someone like me, and I'd be happy to help you. I do work with clients that are smaller on limited basis depending on what they need help with, and we have our own bookkeepers, but it's not a service I'm pushing and heavily promoting, because I don't think it adds as much value as our tax services or our company creation services, which is really bank accounts and addresses and helping people expand their businesses. So there are good alternatives. The Bench alternative wasn't bad, but it was really best for a certain type of small business owner, and they marketed it to everyone. So I think that was a part of the issue there. So why accounting is important is one thing I want to talk about too. So if you're a business owner, you need to know if you're making money or if you're not making money. And you need to know where your money's going. You need to be able to analyze and do your ratios, or at least see where did I spend all my money this month? Or how much money can I spend on growth next month? How much is my budget for ad spend? Where is my money going to go? So accounting is important because you need to know what your business is doing. Another reason it's important, because if you want to sell your company, you need good accounting. If you want to sell your business, you have to have reliable, accurate accounting that you can sell, that you can share with anyone who's potentially going to buy your company. If your accounting sucks, then you're going to have to redo it all before you can sell anyways. I've worked with a lot of clients in that regard, having to redo all their accounting so that they can potentially sell their business. Another reason is because you potentially have to file tax returns or tax reports on it, and that information needs to be accurate. If it's wrong and you get audited, you're going to have to pay a bunch of money in interest and penalties for doing your taxes wrong because you had bad accounting. The IRS doesn't like that. You're supposed to have good accounting, especially if you're going to be filing tax returns using those numbers. So those are 3 really important reasons why accounting is important. Now I want to keep it moving. I don't like to waste a lot of time in these videos. What do you do now if you were a bench customer or if you have no accounting? First, follow up with them. It looks like that Bench announced that they've been acquired, and the acquisition includes Bench's workforce of over 600 employees. Employer.com stated it's been collaborating with customers to ensure a transition. They're going to retain their in-house bookkeepers, and all data is tax secure and protected. So hopefully they can still help you close out your books. And if you want to avoid this kind of thing, the better way would be to control your own data. On I know if you're using a QuickBooks could potentially also go out of business, but they're not. They have the Intuit Dome. These guys are crushing it, and their software is going to be around. So I wouldn't really worry about like a third-party software, Xero or a QuickBooks, and then getting your own accountant or doing it yourself, or potentially just doing it yourself at the end of the year if you don't really need monthly accounting. Many businesses are paying accountants unnecessarily. Just because you have a business and you're doing fine doesn't mean you need an accountant. If you're doing a consulting business and you have easily trackable income and expenses, you don't need to, it's not like a requirement to do it every single month and pay someone every month. So I would try and get access to your data. I would see if there's anything you can do, and then you can reassess whether you want to keep working with Bench, whether you want to do it yourself, or whether you want to work with an accountant or someone more, or I guess the last one would hire someone internally and potentially use a different third-party software. Think with this Bench, they shut down, you lost access to your software. I'm optimistic that you guys can get your books closed out at least through the end of the year before you have to make this decision. It's much easier, especially if you've been paying all year, to get your books done through the year, and then from there, start with a new accountant. Okay, so if you need help with this, obviously, or anything else, taxes, bank accounts, and that stuff, you can schedule a call, jamesbakercpa.com/schedule. Check out the website and comment below if you have any questions or if I said something wrong. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you on the next video.